Welcome to Grim Dark Gains, a weekly podcast where we help you ascend from a skeleton warrior into a vampire count. Today, we are going to answer how to bulk and cut. But before we dive into today's topic, we'll chat about our life, lifting, and hobby. How are you, Eli?
I'm good, Alex. How are you?
I'm great. I'm drinking this OxyShred energy drink,
Mm-hmm.
and it is disgusting, and nobody should ever buy it. It
Ah.
tastes like they tried to make it healthy, but they don't have the marketing to say it's healthy. It's
Mm.
like it's just not good. The reason I'm drinking it is because I got 2 cases of them at Arnold Classic for free.
Dang. Oh, well, that's
So
nice
it's
at least.
awesome because it's like ingredients are fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's 185 milligrams of caffeine. I think they have L-theanine. They have a useless amount of vitamins and minerals that no energy drink should have,
Mm-hmm.
like every energy drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it just doesn't taste good. Like you take a regular white monster, just like 8 out of 10, 8.5 maybe. This is like a 4.
Wow. Can you describe
And
what it
I've been
tastes like?
dreading. What is it?
Can you describe what it tastes like?
Yeah, so it has a good flavor on top, but a baseline flavor. All of their drinks taste like those like greens powder. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, gross. Yeah.
Yeah, like you mix them with water and just tastes like you're having grass, and they're supposed to be
Yeah.
healthy for you, but I don't think they actually are.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes like that, like underneath. So you get the first sip
Weird.
and you're like, oh, first it tastes good, and then it tastes like grass.
Huh.
So
Maybe you could
yeah.
put some like Mio in it or something.
Well, it's really sweet. It's as sweet
Ah,
as
I
any
see.
other energy
Okay.
drink, right? So it does have the, artificial flavors that actually taste fine, but then it has a baseline like grassy, green,
Hmm.
healthy flavor, and it just doesn't work. And
Weird.
every product of theirs that I had, because I get like I have a subscription box for like fitness stuff,
Mm-hmm.
nutrition stuff once a month, and sometimes I get those because I think no one wants to buy them, or
Mm-hmm.
so they just send them for free. But yeah, I haven't tried any flavor of them that are good. Do not buy this brand. It does not taste good. And the only reason I'm drinking them is because I've had this 48 cans for so long and I've been
Oh
slowly
man.
making my way through them. But anytime I buy a normal energy drink, I just don't drink this.
Yeah.
So
Well.
this time I committed. I'm not gonna buy any energy drinks until I make it through this.
Hmm.
They are not a treat. They don't taste good, but they do have caffeine.
Hmm.
So
You could mix it with
that's
like
what I'm
half a
doing.
scoop of pre-workout. Maybe the those chemicals will outdo the other chemicals and taste better.
Yeah. You know what, actually, it might be a good idea. I didn't think about this, is get those flavored sparkling waters
Mm.
and just like mix half and half.
Yeah.
That might be okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sometimes I do that. I'll mix pre-workout with sparkling water.
Huh.
That's
Yeah, it
chef's
sounds
kiss.
nice. Sounds
That
nice.
is very nice. Like
I
a
tried
treat.
it once. I tried that once with Sprite, and it tasted good, but it's too much carbonation for me before a
Really?
workout. Yeah,
That's a good point. Yeah.
but
I'm just
I
so used to
carbonation just like
energy drinks.
kills me for some reason. So
Really?
I
Huh.
like one sip of Diet Coke and I burp. It's crazy. I I don't know why.
Well, yeah. I think it's kind of normal, but it also depends what kind of day you're doing. Bro, do you ever like just had a busy day and you don't get a chance to eat until right before you go to the gym, but you're hungry, so you eat like a huge meal, and then you're like just stuffed for the workout? Does it ever happen?
That has happened, but it's been a long time because I've only work out in the mornings nowadays.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's smart. It happened a few months ago, and I was working like I don't know what I was doing. I think it might have been in the spring when I was still teaching, and I was like teaching, going to a coffee shop. I didn't bring much food with me, so I was working. And then I'm like, okay, I just had like, I think I had like a protein shake and fruit and coffee that whole day, and it was already like uh, late afternoon.
Mm.
So I'm really hungry. So I went to Sheets. Are you familiar with Sheets?
Mm-mm.
It's like a gas station chain in on the
Okay.
West Coast, part of the West Coast.
Sure.
Really popular, and they have food. So I just got like 2 subs and fries and a
Oh,
big thing of
yeah, I
Diet
have done
Coke, and I'm
something
just
like
like,
this before.
yeah. And I'm working out. I'm just like, oh, this is off. I'm gonna
Yep,
throw up.
yep. One time, me and my friend thought it was a great idea to get Subway before our workout, so I had a whole like foot long, 20, probably 15 minutes before our workout, and I just felt
Yeah,
horrible for the whole workout.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's just not worth it.
hmm
If you have the time, what I sometimes do is like I'll go on a treadmill for like 40 minutes and like it kind of helps it settle. It doesn't actually help because like it actually takes the blood flow away from your stomach.
Mm,
But ideally, you just take an hour and digest food.
yeah,
But if you're gonna go to the gym regardless, I'll go on a treadmill for like 40 minutes and then do the workout, and it takes the edge
mm,
off a little bit.
fair.
Yeah, dude. Well, you're moving out soon, right?
Yep.
Wow.
12 days. Or no, it's the 15th today, isn't it? 9 days.
Wow. Dang. So next podcast we do is gonna be the last time we're gonna see you.
Mm-hmm.
That's so take in the view in the back because you might not see it for a
Mm,
while.
it might be
Or it
pretty
might be literally
sad.
the same thing.
Yeah, but I need to get more display cases though, so I can have my Warhammer stuff not in boxes all the time. That's a that's
Yeah.
a future thing.
Well, those things, if you have just go on Facebook Marketplace,
Yeah.
like super, like you can get them for 20 to
Yep.
$50 if you get a good deal, and they even have a light in them. I just don't
Yeah.
have them plugged in,
Yeah.
but
I
yeah, it's a
there
cool. If you look
should
at
be
the
another thing on that one, but when we were moving first, it fell and shattered, and it's missing one.
like a glass
Yeah.
platform,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the problem I have with this one. I don't know if you can see, but it has like one, two, three platforms.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
minis are like at most this big,
Yeah.
right? So like it
They're
does
a
not
bit
need
too
so
big.
yeah, but I have no idea how to get those glass platforms.
Mm.
Anyway, how's your hobby week been, Eli?
Well, it was something. I built
Okay,
four
good.
whole Lich Guard, as you saw. It's four
I
Lich
did
Guard
see
from
that.
China. That was pretty much it. Other than that, I finished a book. I finished the book Death World about some
Hmm.
Chan guys. It was decent. It was fine. Just a
What
classic
is the Death
guardsman.
World?
Yeah, just a classic
What's the
guardsman novel.
give me a horror shit's heresy?
No, just guardsman, like
Oh,
Imperial
okay.
Guard. Just Catachan.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
dope.
it was fine.
Swole dudes.
Yeah. I also almost finished Dead Man Walking, which is a very sad book, very classic, sad Imperial Guard novel. But is actually quite well written, which is nice. Not, it's sometimes a bit rare for 40K books. And
Yeah, yeah, it depends. Yeah.
almost finished listening to Gene Father, which is Fabius Bile and Belisarius Call, which is fine. It's an okay book. Like 70% of it was kind of a nothing burger, and then they
Mhm.
meet up and things start happening in the last like quarter of the book. But
Okay.
whatever. So yeah, and I started listening to the new Tao book, Elemental Council. So lots of reading, and I guess I started reading Kazakhin. So yeah, lots of book
Oh,
stuff
nice.
going on.
Wow. Yeah. How many books do you like? Do you read them at the same time?
Generally, yeah, because I like morning cardio. I usually like listen to something, and then after the gym cardio, I read something, and I kind of just go through stuff so that I always have like a steady flow of a good variety of content, I guess, to
Yeah.
talk about.
Well, it's your job too, yeah, so it's helpful.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your favorite type of setting in 40K to consume? Do you
Mm,
have one? Or like a style?
yeah, probably the old Gritty Guardsman books. I really like those. Those and Tau books. I like both of them. Depends on which Tau books. Some of them are pretty bad, but some of them are great. The Guardsman books are always good because the characters are literally human, so you can relate with
Right.
them.
Relatable.
And
Yeah.
there's often, in the old ones at least, there's often very great character growth of some sort, and they can be quite the tearjerkers sometimes. Sometimes they just
Yeah.
suck, obviously, because it's Warhammer, but
Sure, sure,
sometimes they are
sure.
really good. Like Talarn is one of my favorite books ever. Dead Men Walking is phenomenal. Stuff like that. Uh, I enjoy the occasional Space Marine book. I do,
Sure,
I do, but
sure. I mean,
they're kind of the
they're still on our
same.
side, right?
Yeah, they're kind of like the same book every time though, so it's not really as interesting to me. I guess Necron books are my favorite ones to read. There just aren't that many of them, and I've kind of read all of them at this point, aside from the
Isn't there a
newest
new
one.
one? The
Yeah,
Silent King?
yeah, I need to read that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
actually just literally had a client mention it, I think yesterday. That's the only
nice,
reason I know because I did
nice.
not
Yeah.
did not go into that territory. Have you I'm guessing you've read Gaunt's Ghosts?
No, actually, I've not.
Oh dang,
It's
me neither,
it's
dude.
on the
Okay.
list. It's on the list. Uh, I'll get there eventually. I have a friend who loves
Well,
those
yeah.
books
There's
though.
a lot. There's a lot of books. Have you read the like Eisenhorn series and the Ravenor and Becklin?
Yeah, I read the first two. Well, I listened to the first two, but that was
Right.
like over 5 years ago, so I need to go back and reread them probably because I barely remember anything that happens, and I just know Eisenhower's
Right.
cool.
Yeah, Eisenhower's dope. It's so funny. My experience with those is like I listened to the first book and I'm like, it's okay. But then I listened to the second one, like, oh, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And the third one I was like, holy crap, give me more. So I've
Mm.
been more and more
He
interested the more it goes on.
he was supposed to have his own TV show, and they didn't happen though.
Wait, oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That was relatively easy to do. I feel like
Yeah, there's a
not
lot
as
of
much
there's a
to
lot
do.
of easy to do TV shows in
Right.
Warhammer. They just are a
Sure.
very silly
Sure.
company. So
Right. Yeah. No,
what are
that's
you gonna
fair.
do?
I talking about books, I recently bought a bunch of old Gotrek and Felix
Mm,
books because I've been buying them one at a time. When I finish them, I just put them on that shelf.
nice.
But currently, I'm on book 7, which I think is Elf Slayer
Mm-hmm.
or Zombie Slayer. There's so many Slayers. Anyway, I bought 6 of them, so I'm confused which one is which. But they're all going to be arriving at once, and I'll
Nice.
have plenty of content to read. So I'm excited
Mm,
for that.
very good. I also finished the Sisters of Battle novel like a month ago, and it was really
Ooh,
good. One of the OG ones. I think it's called Hammer and Bolter. That might be wrong, but it's one of the
okay.
it's an old novel. It's like an OG Sisters of Battle novel. It's really good. It's a series technically, so I have to get this second one and get to reading that, which I will, and I'm excited to because the characters are cool, the events are cool. It's very good. I do
Yeah.
recommend it. Let me see if I can find the name of it.
Yeah, I was
Faith and
literally looking it up
Fire.
right now.
Faith and Fire is
Fate
what
and
it's called.
Fire. Yeah, yeah. There is
Very
Hepburn
good.
Bolter, but I think it was a magazine.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Hammer and Bolter is like the newspaper in for the Imperial Guard.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Looks like they did have a magazine as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's dope. Awesome, man.
Yeah. What about you?
Any other hobby, or is that pretty much it for you?
That, that's pretty much it. I went to an EDM thing. That was pretty good. I saw Zed's Dead and Subtronics. They were cool. It was kind of just what was like the city ahead, like 2 hours away from me, does a big EDM thing for like 10 days straight, and they have different artists. They had their best artists like yesterday or 2 days ago, but they announced them a week in advance after we had already bought our tickets for these guys, which was very annoying, but it's fine. I
Fortunate.
I like
Yeah.
Zed's Dead and Subtronics. They're fine. It was fun. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
How was your
Did you
hobby?
like bust out the dance moves?
Yeah, a little bit, but not really. I don't dance very much. We're just
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bop your head.
yeah.
That's the dance. It's all happening in this area.
Mm-hmm,
Got
mm-hmm.
it. Awesome, dude. As far as hobby for me, not a whole lot either. I did decide to convert a bunch of my Zombicide stuff into a Vampire Counts army.
Oh.
So what you see on that picture there, and I'm still obviously use them for Zombicide, but yeah, everything you see there in that picture,
Hmm.
besides a few of the things on the left, is a 1,000 point army of
Wow.
yeah, and it's pretty varied because I'm gonna use. The reality is I'm not gonna take it to tournaments. I'm gonna only play like local games and
Mm,
clubs or
fair.
my friends. So I'm just gonna like, hey, these are um, oh, what are they called? Ghouls, right?
Mm,
These are
yeah.
ghouls. They look slightly different than these guys, and they're painted this way. And then if anybody gives me a hard time, it's just literally not gonna happen because I'm only
Yeah.
gonna play friends with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
but
That's
actually,
pretty cool.
some of the stuff works really well. I mean,
Yeah.
there's like
I like those.
necromancers and zombies, obviously.
I like those big mutant guys on the right
Yeah,
side.
they're cool. They're cool. They are, man, I cannot remember the names
Crypt
today.
Wars.
They're the big ghouls, the big monster
Yeah.
ghouls.
Crypt Wars. I'm pretty sure.
Crypt horrors. Yeah, yeah, you got it.
And then you got
But yeah,
like a samurai guy. That looks
yeah.
cool.
So the samurai guy, the brown guy, is actually one of the heroes, but he has like a full mask and like none of the skin is showing. So
Hmm.
I'm going to use him as my vampire count because they obviously, vampire counts just look like humans, right? Besides
Mm-hmm.
the anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be my general. Then I have next to him that little necromancer.
Mm-hmm.
He is my necromantic acolyte. It's going to be a level 1 wizard.
Hmm.
I have 64 zombies,
Nice.
so 2 units of 32, 16 creep goals, 17 grave guard. Those are the red guys,
Mm-hmm.
and they're supposed to be like terracotta warriors
Huh.
in the game. So heavily armored guys, so it makes
I thought
sense.
these were zombies. What's going on?
Right, right, right. And then obviously, like we mentioned, there is the three crypt horrors, and that's
Yeah.
exactly 1,000 points with a few artifacts, right? I gave my
Yep.
Vampire Con artifacts, gave Spell Familiar to the Necromancer. So it's not going to be a good list because the way that Vampire Counts work, a lot of their units basically cannot march,
Hmm.
so you're limited to movement 4 most of the game.
Jeez.
So
Even the
yeah, it'll be
crypt
fun.
ghouls, are they not faster?
I don't think so. No,
Oh,
the Crypt Ghouls they have. Literally looking up right now. Movement 5, so 1 inch
okay.
more, but they don't have. They don't have that. They do have actually. Oh, you're right. They do have reserve move. Yeah, so they could move afterwards. And I
Hmm.
think same thing with ghouls. But the problem that happens is you have units advancing forward without any support from the back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be a fun army. I literally have no idea how well it's gonna do, but I'm like, hey, these
Huh.
units look like these things, so I
That
think
sounds
it should
fun.
work.
And what is this?
Yeah, yeah. There's a friend I'm hoping to go see, and
Mhm.
I want to bring this army to teach him all world.
Nice. That'll be
Yeah,
cool.
I
And
think so.
is this you working on the home gym, perchance?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is me cocking. This is me using my cock tool,
Ah.
and there's been a few jokes in the comments on Instagram about it,
Classic.
and but yeah. So the room is very much prepped. I do have to do some spackling still. 'Cause there's some
Hmm.
holes, but yeah, I just need to do spackling and then painting. Painting might take a couple layers,
Yep.
but after that, I'm literally just gonna paint, move all the equipment up there, and you can start working out
Wow.
from the home gym. So
Pretty
it'll be very
cool.
nice.
Pretty cool.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then you're playing
And
what's it called?
yeah,
Heroes or
Heroes
something?
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, Heroes of Might and Magic classic game. If you've played Heroes 3, put it in the comments. What's your favorite faction? I've
Mm.
been really liking playing as the Undead because the way you play is after each combat, if you kill like a horde army, you get a bunch of skeletons back.
Hmm.
So you can see I have a stack there with 935 skeletons, uh, which
Nice.
is awesome, right? Like
Mm.
you usually would buy 30 a week,
Wow.
right? So it's a big old horde. Anyway, I'm not gonna go into details, but I've been mostly been sticking to my rule of I only consume visual media content when I'm doing cardio,
Mm.
or if I'm like in a public place, that's fine. But
Hmm.
basically, I wanted to cut out wasting time at home.
Mm.
So if I'm like, hey, I'm cutting, I'm gonna do cardio and like watch a movie. I'm gonna do cardio and play a video game. It makes cardio so much
I
easier,
bet. I bet.
right?
Very nice.
I've been doing that.
Hmm. I did play some Hearts of Iron 4. I did that yesterday actually. So I played some video game. First time in a while.
Very good.
It
Oh,
was fun.
nice.
It was fun. I'm a noob. I am so bad at that game. I do not understand how it works. And the YouTube tutorials, half the time, they have DLC turned on, so even like simple things are still done differently. So the tutorials don't even help with some of the things I want to do. Like I wanted to nuke somebody, and the YouTube tutorial to nuke someone is different steps than my game because I'm just using the base game. So I had to like message my friend and have him explain everything to me. But I nuked China and I took it.
Oh yeah.
I long life.
Okay.
It took me until 1950, but I have China, and now me and the Kingdom of Indonesia or whatever are taking the Dutch East Indies islands and stuff. So and
Are you
we're gonna
playing as Japan?
yeah
I'm guessing.
yeah.
Yeah, of course, of course. You play Tao. You play Japan in
uh,
the other
uh,
game.
uh.
I see how it is. I see how it is.
Yep.
Do you watch anime?
Kind of. Not really. I like. I used to in high school, but I don't. I'm not really as into it now. But I also just don't really watch anything nowadays.
Okay,
So I don't know.
that's
I
probably
wouldn't. I
smart.
would not call myself a weeaboo
That's what
by
I was gonna
any
say. Like, are you
means.
a weeb? Is that what's happening
No.
here?
I do. I went to Japan though, and I really liked it, and I have a lot of
You
respect for
did.
the Japanese people. So
It's true.
what can I
It's
say?
true. Yeah. Here's some people say they're just like anime,
Yeah.
but you actually are more than that. A little more depth there. It's
Hmm.
good. I like it.
Hmm.
How's the cut going for you?
Good. Good. I'm almost below 170, which is nice. So
Dang!
we started
Wow.
at 185.
Heck
So
yeah.
it's going pretty good. I think like 5 or 6 more pounds, and I'll be like very comfortable and looking decent. So
Yeah. And then the grind happens.
yeah, yeah. But as of now, my weight belt is I'm down a notch on my weight belt. I'm
Nice.
almost
It's
down
always a
two
good feeling.
notches.
Yeah, that's a good
Uh,
feeling.
Pants are no longer tight, so that's nice.
Good. Good. Yeah,
I don't have
you
to
would
wear
work maxing for
sweatpants
a while.
everywhere I go. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, no, it's good. It's
Well,
good.
that actually transitions us pretty well into our topic for today.
Mhm.
So we did an episode a few episodes ago on whether you should bulk or cut. So if you're not sure if you should bulk or cut, go listen to that first, decide what you should do, and then come back here and we're going to talk about how to actually bulk or cut. Eli, do you have a preference which one we go with first?
Nope.
Yeah, well, let's do the bulk because
Okay.
that's neither of us are doing it right now.
Yeah.
So bulk, we mentioned previously, is a methodology where you stay in a consistent calorie surplus with the goal of building as much muscle as possible. And then there's different modalities of how much weight you gain during
Hmm.
that time.
Hmm.
So, what are some of your advice? We'll start with that on bulking, how to bulk,
I think the biggest thing is to go slow. Be slow and steady and patient.
like that.
That's probably the
Why do you say that?
biggest.
What do you mean by that?
Well, because you don't actually need very much of a surplus to be gaining muscle, and your body does adapt over time. So if you go slow with it, you'll also increase your metabolism, which is nice. If you eat too much food at once, your body will get rid of most of it, uh, and also gain a lot of fat at the same time. If you eat a bunch of food in one day, you're not going to gain fat, but you
Sure.
understand. Like if you're eating, if you decide you're going to bulk and you go straight into a 1,000 calorie surplus, your body's going to
Oh
store a
yeah.
lot of fat. It's not going to
Yes.
change how much muscle you gain if you were in a versus like a 300 caloric surplus. It'll just gain you weight faster, but it's not going to be good weight.
Right. There's a basically what you're saying is there's a cap on how much muscle you can build, and eating more is not going to increase that cap,
No, no.
right?
You do need to adjust and continue to eat more as your body adapts to what you're eating,
Yep.
uh, and your metabolism speeds up. But only when that happens is when you need to increase your food. So,
Yeah. So the first thing when you bulk, the first principle is you got to be in a calorie surplus, right? But what we're saying really is start with a very small surplus.
hmm.
How much would you recommend to start with?
Honestly, like anywhere around 300 calories. It can even be less if people really
Yeah.
want, but I would say 300 calories is pretty safe.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not even going to gain a pound a week with that. It's more likely, I mean, after the glycogen stores, after you gain some water weight,
Hmm.
it's, you know, approx, and you're probably going to be burning more calories, you have more energy, you may be spending more time in the gym. So, like a half a pound
Hmm.
a week, right, is
Hmm.
really what we're approximately gaining.
Yep, yep. I think bulking is actually harder to do correctly than cutting. I think cutting is really easy, actually. You can lose weight eating anything, but you can't really gain muscle eating anything. Not as easy.
See, I see what you mean. It's not necessarily harder, but it's harder to do right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
bul-
see that.
cutting is logistically easier. It's not mentally easier for most people, but
Yeah.
the mechanics and stuff are just easier. I think like to
Yeah.
bulk well,
I,
I think having a coach is a pretty good thing to have for a bulk. Someone who can actually like monitor your weight, tell you when to increase calories, decrease cardio, all that
yeah.
stuff. It's quite useful.
Yeah. One thing I will say is shout out to MacroFactor because I've been using that, and I've not been using it as a coach.
Mm,
But if you can't afford coaching, first of all, if you can afford coaching and this is important for you, you should definitely hire a coach,
yeah,
right? I mean,
it's very worth it.
whether it's Eli or me or anybody else who's qualified, hire a coach if you can afford it. You'll probably, even if you just do like 3 to 6 months of coaching, and you will learn a lot
Mm-hmm.
about how to achieve your goals. But if it's too much, some people just can't afford it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's not, they don't value it enough to afford it.
Mm-hmm.
Macro Factor is really good. It's not going to do anything for training or sleep or lifestyle habits, but it will actually adjust your calories for you based on what's happening to your weight. You do have to be pretty precise and consistent with tracking, so you can't be, um, half-assing it really.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do, it actually does a really good job of adjusting
Mm-hmm.
calories and protein as needed, depending
Oh,
on what's
cool.
happening to your weight. And you can even if you really want to go an extra mile, put your body composition, like body fat percentage, in there. if you have the tools to measure it. So
Interesting.
shout out to Macrofactor,
Sponsor us.
sponsor us. Really, Macrofactor is great. Really, really appreciate that
How
app.
much? How much does it cost? I've seen it
It
sponsored
ends
on
up.
Mr. Will Tennyson's videos, but I've never actually looked
Oh,
into
really?
it. Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, and honestly, every good influencer that I like, who is actually legit and like knows what they're talking about and not gimmicky, I either appreciate it or is sponsored by them.
Hmm.
Right? It costs. I think if you pay for the year, it's about $5 a month.
Okay. Not bad.
Yeah, so it's
Not too bad.
really not. I think maybe slightly more, like $5 and some cents. If you pay monthly, it ends up being actually $11 a month,
Hmm.
so it's way more
Dang.
expensive monthly.
Yeah.
But also, if you're gonna use it for 3 months, right,
Yeah.
it might be worthwhile. Honestly, what I would do if I were a person listening to this, you can actually stick to using it for a month and then get the yearly one.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, or you could use any other app that for free
Yeah.
allows you to track. But if you want something to adjust for you without having a coach, it's actually a pretty useful tool.
Cool. Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so calorie surplus, obviously. How about protein? What are we doing with protein?
Uh, you don't have to do much. It's the one thing you don't really need to increase at all as you're going. You can. It's not gonna hurt, but
Sure,
it's
sure.
increasing protein will make eating more harder because it's the most
Yes,
filling. Uh,
yes.
and it also technically will make losing or sorry gaining weight harder simply because it burns more calories eating protein
A
than
little
fats and
bit, yeah,
carbs.
a little bit.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you need less protein when you're bulking. You don't need to
Yep,
like worry. Your body has enough calories from fats and carbs as well to keep
yep,
everything going and be gaining and building. And it can just use the extra protein that you give it to continue building the muscle. I
yep,
think 1 gram of protein per pound of lean mass is still good. I don't think you need to go higher though when you're bulking. You could even go slightly lower once you get to like
yep,
really high calories, but
yep.
you don't need to do like the 40 40 20 for your entire bulk. That'll get down towards 25, 25, 50, in my opinion.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
So 0.1 to 1 gram. If you don't know what your lean body weight is, just do it per current body weight, right? As long as you're not obese. But yeah, 0.8 to 1 gram is very reasonable. You can, like Eli said, you could probably get away with going even a little bit lower, because when you are bulking, because you have so many calories, what happens is a protein sparing effect, where your body uses carbs and fat for energy and doesn't really touch the protein. So your protein can be used for muscle,
hmm.
right? So yeah, no, I think you're exactly right. Okay, that's really it for nutrition, right? I
Yeah.
mean, if you're tracking, that's really all you got to do.
Hmm.
Um, how about training? What would you change training at all? Exercise in general while you're bulking?
Personally, I do lower rep stuff when I'm bulking. I still keep the high
Okay.
reps in plenty of exercises, but I'm not doing like heavy triples or anything for bench press while I'm cutting, simply because
Sure.
it's a bit too taxing and it's kind of just
Right.
dangerous at that point. But it's way safer to do stuff like that when you're bulking. You have way more energy and way more just everything, simply put. So I think you can easily focus more on strength training when you're bulking, but you also want to keep all the hypertrophy in it so you're still building all your muscle and gaining stuff. You can add a bit more high intensity stuff because you can recover better. It's easier to recover, it's easier to sleep when you're full than it is when you're hungry. Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
easy
yeah.
peasy. You
Agreed.
don't have to train lifting a lot though. As long as you're training to failure and working hard in the gym, it doesn't really matter that much. But
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Have you ever heard well, higher reps burn fat.
yeah.
Have you heard that?
Oh man, yeah,
I've
yeah,
had
I
I've had
do.
people tell me that. I thought higher reps burn fat, so that's why you do it during cutting. No, no, that's not how it works. The reason why Eli said higher reps can be more beneficial during cutting is just because you're not as strong, right? So you will not be doing 2 to 4 rep sets. You're just not gonna have the strength, and if you
Mm-hmm.
do, you'll just feel very weak. So it mentally will be very hard. So yeah, I agree. Lower reps can be more beneficial on a bulk just because you feel stronger, but you don't have to do lower reps,
No.
right? And yes, you can increase volume, right? So if you coming out of a cut or even maintenance phase, you can handle more volume just because you have more nutrients coming in.
Mm-hmm.
How about cardio? What would you do with cardio during a bulk?
I kind of just keep it on the low end, but I keep doing it. Like 20 minutes on the treadmill post workout every day, I would still do that, but I wouldn't really increase it. So
Do you do like a jog or walking, or what do
just
you do?
like incline walking. I used to
Yep.
run back in high school. I just don't know. I don't see the point to it anymore. I know what people like doing it, but it's really just like it's kind of bad for you. It's
For
just
your
bad
knees,
for
yeah.
your joints, especially your knees and your shins.
Yeah.
And you get all the benefits from just walking. So,
Unless you need running for whatever purpose in life. I can't remember the last time I needed to run a mile,
yeah,
right?
it's good to be able to like run just in general. But if you're doing however many minutes of incline treadmill walking and you're sweating lots and you're breathing, you're gonna be able to run when you need it at the end of the day. So, in my opinion,
Yeah.
at least.
Yep. Yeah. So, as far as cardio, my approach with myself and my clients is, if you don't have time for it, just don't do it.
Hmm.
Right? I would, like if you have only 3 hours a week to work out, I'd rather you do 3 hours of resistance training during bulking.
Hmm.
However, if you have the time, yeah, throw it in. It's good for mental health, good for cardio health. It will improve your training as long as you don't do it like beforehand or too
Hmm.
much of it beforehand. So have like a warm up. But yeah, cardio should be at maintenance slash minimum while bulking.
Hmm.
You just don't want to burn the extra calories, right? You're gonna just have to eat more.
Yeah.
And then also what happens is if you're doing too much cardio during bulking, your body adapts and it's not as effective during cutting.
Hmm. True. It's also good for your blood sugar to
Oh
walk
yeah.
after you eat and stuff like that. It's kind of just
Yeah. Oh yeah.
healthy.
You
It's just
should you
healthy.
should always walk, by the way. Like we're not saying just lay on the couch, right? Like walking is just good for you as just a lifestyle habit. It's
Hmm.
like drinking water,
Yeah.
right? Like, hey, please don't hear this as like you shouldn't do cardio
Yeah.
while bulking. After lunch, go for a walk, right? Go for a walk before, with your wife after dinner, first thing in the morning. Really good for you, really good for mental health, really good for productivity. Um, but don't do much more than that as far as like intense cardio or intentional cardio to burn calories
Hmm.
while bulking, because it just makes bulking harder and makes potentially cutting more difficult as well
Hmm. Yeah.
later on.
Yeah. Especially
Okay.
running just isn't good to when you're bulking. If you're gaining weight, it's just gonna get harder and harder on your knees, and it's
Right.
just not
We
worth it.
actually had I think somebody in the comments on one of our posts mentioned that they trained for a marathon and they were struggling to gain muscle. Do you
Oh yeah,
remember
I remember
that?
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, which is very hard to do.
You have to
Like,
eat a
he
lot of
was asking
food.
a lot of food, and also just keep in mind that your body can only handle so much, right?
Mm.
He was like, "How can I build muscle training for a marathon?" And I'm like, I was thinking, like, you probably want to work out like one resistance training session a week, right? Because you're training so much for a marathon, there's so much systemic
Hmm.
fatigue. You're putting so much pressure on your joints that like more than that, or maybe you do a few sessions, but you do like literally one or two movements, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can't handle much more than that.
Yeah. Especially you can't really do many leg movements. You could do up. I think you could
Right.
do upper body 2 or 3 times a
Yeah.
week. Personally, depends on how you're training. Uh,
Right.
because marathon training isn't always crazy. Usually you have one crazy day for marathon training,
Sure.
one medium day, one low intensity day, or one
Sure.
like sprint day. There is room for resistance training, just not very much, and you have to eat so much freaking food.
Right. And
It's
then
yeah,
usually you're trying to stay as lean as possible. So just I don't know. If you are, it's not impossible to gain muscle while training for a marathon, but it's just really you're making it very difficult for
yeah.
yourself. Like honestly, what I would do is just like, hey, just focus on training for a marathon, do that, perform good, and then
Hmm.
really focus on building muscle.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to mention a couple things that are applicable to literally any time. It's like walking, right?
Hmm.
Focus on good sleep to get 7 to 9 hours. Make sure you drink lots of water so you avoid injuries, you recover better, and better for sleep as well, and manage your stress.
Hmm.
That applies to cutting, bulking, maintenance, whatever. Just make sure you're not forgetting that. You simply will not see as good results if you just don't sleep well,
Yeah.
regardless of what your goals are.
Yeah.
Okay, any other big principles? I do still want to talk about bulking, about
Hmm.
maybe some hacks or some personal things that we do, but any other principles, big P, on how to bulk?
Not really. I think. you should still try to keep the 90-10 rule of 90% healthy,
Yeah,
10% unhealthy. When you're
that's a great
bulking,
one.
there's a little bit more leeway. Like you can go 80-20, even 70-30
Yeah.
if you really want to. You got to be a little bit
Yes.
careful though. There is more leeway certainly, but again, the more healthy you eat, the more successful your bulk is going to be. The
Yeah.
better you're going to be in the gym. Sure,
It's energy,
you could have one
hormones.
unhealthy meal every day,
Yeah.
but you could also just have one unhealthy meal every 3 days.
Yeah. You will feel better if you eat healthy, but there's definitely more leeway. And also like if you just came out of a cut and it was a longer cut and you want to take
Oh
a mental
yeah,
break,
yeah.
like yeah, just enjoy
I
yourself
don't
a
think
little
there's
bit.
anything wrong with that. Yeah.
No, no. But if you don't have to do that, you'll 100% get more benefit physically
Yeah.
from not having as many bad foods, quote unquote. But yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. If you're at the end of a bulk and you're quite heavy and the food is getting quite enormous, then that's where
Yeah.
I think it's a bit more acceptable to be eating out with your friends, like kind of whenever you
Or
feel
I
like
see what
it,
you mean.
eating extra food whenever you feel like it. But that's at the end of the bulk. Like
Right.
when
If
you
you're
only have like
struggling,
2 or 3 weeks left and you just have to push like shove as much food as you can, then sure, go a little bit crazy, not too crazy, but
sure, sure,
go
sure.
yeah, go eat some Chinese food, have a good time. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Oh
Chinese
man.
food is really
Don't
good
even
for
mention
bulking.
all the carbs and the fat. My
Yeah,
goodness. Mexican too. Woo.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you can get so much. Honestly, any eating out place,
yeah,
you will be
yeah,
fine. There's not a single one that you're not going to get lots of calories and
yeah,
salt and
yeah.
carbs. Okay, well, let's talk about some strategy or maybe hacks or maybe just things to look out for
Mhm.
when bulking. I'll take the first one because it's very obvious. Just don't dirty bulk.
Yeah.
There's very, very, very few people who should be dirty bulking. Somebody with extremely low body fat percentage and very little muscle. But yeah, you will just have to stay in the cut longer. Um, Unless your goals are strength or powerlifting without a care for weight class, and then having more leverage potentially could be helpful. But yeah, you should probably not dirty bulk
Even then, you'll still just be getting stronger if you replace those calories with healthy ones. It's just more expensive.
and not go as oh what I mean primarily is just the excess calories, like what you
Yeah,
mentioned with
fair,
1,000 calorie
enough, fair
surplus.
enough.
Like just don't, right? And
Yeah,
typically it implies also eating a bunch of garbage.
yeah.
So
It
yeah,
is
just don't. You're
fun.
not going to feel good. Mentally, you're not going to feel good. Physically, you're not going to feel good. You're just going to gain way more fat than you need to, and then go for a longer cut.
Yeah,
Yeah, just don't do it.
it's fun to do once, and then you regret
Yeah,
it
it is a
when
fun
it's time to
experience.
diet, and then you gotta remember your body never gets rid of fat cells. So the fatter you get on a bulk, that fat will always be there. Your cells just
Yeah,
shrink or increase. So or
and it makes cravings
enlarge.
much worse on a cut because your appetite increases because those cells now are screaming, "Feed us, feed us, feed us!" Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, don't. It's not worth it.
If
Just don't.
you're a 16-year-old high school student, you weigh 90 pounds soaking wet, you
Yep.
have no money to your name, your parents
Sure.
only buy whatever groceries, all you can afford is to eat like Wendy's every other day, then go for it.
Yeah,
Eat
yeah,
to
yeah,
your heart's content. Go buy
for
cheap
sure.
food, but other than
Find the
that,
hacks.
it's really like not for many people.
Yeah, yeah. There's context which might be helpful for it, but yeah, not for most.
Mhm.
Any other kind of like hacks or strategies
I've
that
mentioned it before. A blender is very good for people who have a hard time eating.
yeah,
Me personally, I don't have a hard time eating. I can just shovel food for eternity, basically. But
yep,
usually, hard gainers are just people who have a hard time eating and aren't actually eating enough 99.9% of the time, because your body still works like everyone else's. You're not defying physics. There's laws here, there's thermodynamics. If you eat
correct.
X amount of food, you will gain weight. Your metabolism might be kind of fast and it might be like 300 calories more than Joe Schmo, but it still, regardless, it's how it works. But if you have a hard time eating, buy a blender, get some protein powder and some peanut butter and bananas and blend it all up, and you're balling. If you really want
100
to and you're really poor, buy some mass gainer and put it in there. I
sure.
never recommend mass gainer to anyone though. It's kind of just junk. But
They taste so bad, bro. They taste so bad.
yeah,
Not as bad as cheap protein powder, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah, use extra butter or like olive oil when you're cooking if you can afford that.
Yep.
Eat fatty meats like beef. Have some eggs. Try to
Yep.
avoid eating lots of things like chicken or white fish because that's low calories and filling and just kind of hard to eat. Replace your 0% Greek yogurt with 10% Greek yogurt or whatever
Yep.
goofy
Oh my
things like
goodness.
that.
Tastes
Um,
delicious too.
yeah, this is not for advice for every human being. If I did all that, I would get fat pretty fast. But for someone who's a hard gainer, do that and it'll make things easier.
Yeah. Yeah, because the reality is, if you do lean bulking as we suggest, which is normal healthy bulking, right, about 300 calories surplus, you really don't have to eat much more,
No.
right? Like you really don't have to adjust your diet too much compared to maintenance diet, right? Because like 300 calories extra is like super
Nothing.
easy.
It's nothing. It's
It's
a
literally
snack.
nothing.
Yeah.
Throw a banana, a tablespoon of peanut butter, and a scoop of protein. Boom, done.
Yeah.
Right? Have it with your lunch. That's literally all you got to do.
Yep.
But if you do struggle, bulking is more difficult for you. What Eli said, typically more healthy fats. I'm not going to hate on chicken as much. I think if you do chicken with skin and not
Yeah.
chicken
Yeah.
breast, like thighs, drumsticks, wings, I think they're
Yep.
phenomenal.
I guess
Um,
I only really meant chicken breast.
right. Chicken breast,
Dark meat
not a good
chicken is
idea.
good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And the nuts, a trail mix is awesome.
True.
Avocados, fruits in general.
Pasta's
If you
very
are
good.
gonna pasta, yeah, sweet
And
potatoes,
cheese,
pasta,
if you can afford
rice,
cheese.
cheese, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, fats. Try to keep it healthy, right? Everything we mentioned so far will keep your digestion good and healthy. So yeah, because reality is when you eat more calories, it's a little bit more strain on your digestion,
Hmm.
which is another reason not to dirty bulk because you're just not going to feel very good,
Yeah.
right?
And milk. Pour pour half a gallon of milk in that banana peanut butter protein
Yep.
smoothie, and you have 2,000 calories in a cup
Boom.
right there. Crazy.
If you don't have issues with milk, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people do, uh, and they don't even know they do until they have a lot of milk. So, but yeah, milk is totally good if you can tolerate it. And even if you don't tolerate it, just buy like Fairlife
Yeah,
or
lactose
whatever
free stuff.
alternative, yeah, lactose-free stuff, which is going to be a good option as well.
Yeah.
I will say I do still recommend eating a little bit of vegetables with your while you're bulking.
What?
Uh,
Who is this guy? I don't want to hear this.
but you can always add things like cheese or oil or butter to them if you need the extra calories, right? Because they are going to be relatively filling with very little calories.
Yep. Yep. But if you like cut up some onions or and peppers and throw them in your beef and rice, it's pretty good. Or like a
Done.
quesadilla, or
Yeah.
whatever. It's pretty dang
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I
Yeah.
was bulking now. This is making me sad.
Bro, every time I cut for like the first 2 weeks, I'm just like, what am I doing? I should be bulking. I feel so weak. Um, yeah. Another thing I'll say is try to eat frequently if you're bulking. If you're struggling, at least a lot of people, and I'll say frequently and consistently. So don't skip meals, and then on the weekends, continue eating a lot of calories and
Yeah.
a lot of protein.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people will stay consistent during the week. And they're like, well, I haven't gained any weight. Well, on the weekend, you slept in, you skipped breakfast, you were playing
Yeah.
video games all day, didn't eat anything, and now you are 1,000 calories short
Yeah.
just because of the weekend. And instead of gaining a half a pound a week, you gained like a third of a pound or a quarter, and you're just not seeing the gains you should be
Yeah.
seeing.
Yeah. It's true. And
Okay.
if you need to, you might need to just eat really big breakfast or a really big dinner at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yes. If you are tracking, almost ignore everything else we said, right? Keep eating relatively healthy, but as long as you get to your calorie goals and protein goals and your digestion, mental health are good, you're fine,
Yeah.
right? There's definitely ways to overcomplicate this. You don't
Yeah.
have to do that.
Small meals throughout the day is better for digestion
Yes.
and better for
Yes.
your metabolism in general.
Yes. Yes. But don't be stuck into it if it doesn't work for you.
Yep. If you're 2,000
Have fun.
calories short, go buy a rotisserie chicken from Safeway and pasta and put cheese all over it and call it a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. 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 I remember I had this client. I think we wrapped up coaching, but he was struggling to eat 3 meals a day. He just
Mm.
couldn't, like straight up, like I feel nauseous, I don't feel good, like physically I don't feel good. So I'm like, okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a one big meal, but we'll throw two protein shakes on the
Mm.
side,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So this way he can absorb his protein a little bit better, and that really worked for him, right?
Mm.
So like big picture, if you get to your calorie and protein goals, you're great.
Yep.
But ideally, everything else we mentioned, utilize that as well.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. Oh, actually, one last thing with bulking is you personally, how long would you recommend to bulk?
Personal preference. But once
Yeah.
you get to around like 20% body fat, that's probably enough. And you should probably
Yeah,
cut a little bit. But
yeah,
yeah,
that's fair.
really
I,
it's
I
personal
like
preference
staying in
though.
a yeah, you can do yeah, I see what you mean. So you can do like mini bulks and cuts, you can do like a longer phase. I like
I
staying
would
in a bulk for
I would advocate for a long bulk. I would not really ever advocate for like a mini bulking thing. It just doesn't really make any sense. You're the first weight you gain is going to be water weight and then fat
oh,
and
wait,
then
yeah,
muscle. Well, I guess it
right.
depends on what stage you're in, but it'll be muscle if you're really in a big deficit. But you if you do like a
Yeah.
if you do like a 1 month bulk, not a lot's gonna happen.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with. I mean, I think you can get some benefits. You definitely have a point with first you're going to gain glycogen, right? So you're not going
Mm,
to gain any muscle mass, and then when you cut, you're going to lose glycogen. So I wouldn't recommend like a week long bulks or
no.
cuts. But I really don't think there's too much negative to like a month because you can gain all the glycogen, especially if you're coming from a maintenance phase, definitely within a week if you do things appropriately. And then you have 3 weeks to bulk. So you might be able to gain
0.1 pound of
optimistically.
muscle.
No. If you, especially if you're not advanced, you can gain a little bit. And but yeah, you are wasting a lot of time on glycogen loss and storage. Um, if that works for you, do it. But yeah, 1 month is a little bit short.
It's also
I
kind of
agree.
just like to your body, and it's
Right.
just not that healthy. I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your preferred time for a bulk?
As long as possible.
Really?
uh, but like depends on how comfortable you are with how you look and stuff. Like if you're someone who's never bulked before, like do it for a whole year. Honestly, like 6 to 12 months, and just go for it.
Yeah.
Especially if
Yeah.
you're lean bulking, then it should
Yeah.
definitely be a long time.
Especially if
Six
you don't
at
have a
least
ton of extra fat on you.
at least 3 months, I would say, at minimum. I think 6 months is pretty respectable, and then it should take you 3 to 6 months to cut down, depending on how lean you want to get, and then
Mhm.
bulk again for 6 months. These should be like long. They should be pretty long periods of time. Otherwise, you're doing the
Mhm.
whole yo-yo thing that Greg Doucette used to talk about 4 years ago in every video. I vaguely remember that. But yeah, I think it should be longer term, and cutting can also honestly take less time than bulking generally. I think
Yeah,
like half
for
the
sure.
time.
For sure. Yeah. I would recommend for bulking personally 2 to 6 months. I probably wouldn't, less than 2 months. You can see some results, but it's not going to be as much here, right? Um, but longer than 6 months, I notice for a lot of people, they just mentally get into a funk and they're
Yeah,
like feel fat and they're
yeah.
ready for a cut at that point. So at this point, it's like, okay, time to switch things up. So yeah, 2 to 6 months is what I personally recommend, but you
Mm-hmm.
can definitely go a little bit longer,
Yep. Just depends
especially if
on
you're
your
lean.
yeah. It
Yeah.
just depends on how comfortable you are and how confident you are. Because if you
Yes,
start hating
yes,
how you look, then like you're not really benefiting anything, and why
right.
even?
And it's at 6 month mark, a lot of people just like mentally, just like, oh man, they hit that the diet fatigue, but the opposite,
Yeah,
right?
and it gets
Uh,
expensive
it
eating all
gets
that
expensive
food.
too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about the other side of the bulking coin
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is cutting. So cutting, as we mentioned in our Should You Cut podcast, is a modality where you stay in a consistent calorie deficit with the goal of losing fat,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there's different ways to do it, once again, but that's literally the main point.
Mm-hmm.
So how big of a calorie deficit we're talking about, Eli?
Just it's the same thing with bulking, but reversed, in my opinion. Just start with like 300. even less if you wanted to. Depends on what your timeline is like. If you have all the time in the world, start with 100 and just
Sure.
go
Just
down
increase by 100 every week.
as slow as possible. That's the easiest way to do it. It'll lose you fat without anguish, and it'll really only lose you fat pretty safely for most of it. So
Yeah. What's the biggest calorie deficit you would personally recommend somebody else who's not a bodybuilder, right? So they're not trying to go on stage, but they're trying to get to a healthier place with their physique and body fat. What's the biggest calorie deficit you recommend?
by the end of it, could be like 1,000. But depends on your size and who
Yep.
you are. But I think 1,000 is pretty reasonable by the end of it. But I wouldn't go past that
Right. Yep.
personally.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That number was in my head, 1,000. That's as far as I would go, and you don't have to go that far.
Yeah, yeah.
One thing with calorie deficit is there's an adaptation mechanism that happens, right? So same way that happens with bulking, where you may have to increase calories to continue building muscle because your metabolism increases. Your metabolism very likely may slow down, most likely will slow down on a deficit. So you can start with a small calorie deficit, 120 calories, sure, but your metabolism will adapt relatively quickly to that,
Yeah, you
right?
have
And
to.
also, you're not going to see much loss with
Mm,
that, especially after you lose the glycogen. So I would recommend sticking most of your cuts between 500 and 2,000 calories
mm,
for it to actually be effective.
yeah.
But 300 calories absolutely work. You'll still lose some
Mm-hmm,
fat,
mm-hmm.
right? Um, what about protein?
Protein, you gotta start at a normal amount and increase as you go.
Yeah,
Eventually, at the end of your at the end of your cut, most of your diet is going to be protein. That's
a
kind of
lot of it.
just the
Yes.
reality of it, especially if you're in 1,000 calorie surplus, or sorry, deficit, and now
Yeah.
all you have to eat is, let's say, 1,200 calories.
Yeah.
Well, you need 100 grams of protein. You need more than that, realistically. Let's say you need 150 grams of protein.
Yeah.
That's 600 calories. So then you have
Yeah.
400 calories
50%
left
of your diet.
of everything else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. 50% of your diet as protein at a very severe deficit. And you really don't have to go that far unless you are smaller or just lighter.
mm,
But yeah, I would recommend shooting for at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And you'll
mm,
be fine with doing that if you stick to the whole cut,
mm,
but the more the better. Uh,
yeah,
because as Eli mentioned earlier, it does increase your no, it does increase your metabolism by the virtue of digestion. It
mm,
takes more calories to digest it. But it also keeps you fuller longer,
yeah,
and it's also harder to eat.
yeah,
Right? It's just like you can be chewing it for a while.
yeah.
It's harder to intake for the most part, more filling.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, definitely a good idea to do
mm-hmm.
as much protein as you can. I will say, once you go to a pretty severe cut, do not cut out all fat,
Yeah, it is very
right?
important, especially for women.
Especially for a woman. But yeah, it's essential. So do not cut out all fat. I would much rather somebody cut out all carbs before they cut
Yeah,
out all fat.
yeah. You need fats for a lot of your hormones, so
Yeah,
it's very important.
yeah, yeah. Okay, how about training? How would you adjust training and exercise for the cut?
Yeah. Well, no more strength training. Sorry, it's tough, but it is what it is. No more heavy singles or doubles or
Oh, I see.
triples. Yeah.
I was like, we
Uh,
just don't do resistance training at all? No, you mean strength. I see what you mean.
at the beginning of your cut, yeah, you can keep some of that fun stuff, but as you go, there's not going to be much excuse to be going lower than 6 reps on like any exercises. You're just going to be doing
Yeah, no big special.
higher rep stuff. You might be doing things like drop sets and things to kind of just get the extra intensity in, but you're not going to be able to do it all the time with every exercise. You do have to work really hard still. You
Yep.
do have to push past failure, especially when you're cutting so that your body knows that it needs to keep hold of your muscle. Because if you're not training hard and you're in a deficit, your body's not going to think that it needs to hold on to this excess muscle mass on your body
Sure.
because it doesn't. In theory, if it doesn't need the muscle mass, it's going to get rid of it. Your body just works like that.
Right.
So you need to use it or you'll lose it, as they say, and you
Yep.
need to work extra hard, harder than when you're bulking, if anything, because you'll be more tired and you'll feel
I see what you
crappy
mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you'll need to
Yeah.
work harder to retain the muscle.
Yes.
So in reality, you should work equally hard in both things. But
Yeah, mentally it will be harder. It's just, oh my goodness, it's so much harder to show up to the gym and push yourself just because you don't have the energy, you don't have the carbs in you. or as much carbs. You
Mm-hmm.
pretty much have no glycogen stores, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the workouts are harder. I would say the volume should be lower, and relatively significantly so, because there's at some point you should push yourself close to failure. You should train hard. You should send your body a signal to maintain muscle mass. But the key word is maintain. You're not trying to build any,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, in my opinion, if you have so much volume of exercise you're going to um, do maintenance amount for resistance training, which is different for different people, depends how advanced you are.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest, just do with cardio.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Burn more calories.
Yep. Yep. You can, instead of decreasing your calories, you can always increase your cardio. So it kind of
Yeah.
works the same way.
Yep. Absolutely. Ideally, do both.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Generally,
it
you'll need
makes
to
it
do
easy.
both. But
Yep. But yeah, yes, exactly. If you want to stay in 1,000 calorie deficit, you could do 700 for food and 300 for cardio. Sure.
mm-hmm.
The thing with cardio, your body will adapt.
Yep. So you have to
So
keep increasing it as well.
keep increasing or just do different ones, right?
Yeah.
Like one week you do treadmill, another week you do a stairmaster, another week you do swimming, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there's the one option, or you have to make it more challenging every time,
Yeah.
or
Yep.
do more of it.
Yep.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
good. I have to mention this again. Continue getting good sleep, continue getting good hydration, continue managing your
Mm-hmm.
stress. If you're not doing those things, you will see less results. You will uh, lose more muscle and you will retain more fat during the cut.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, now this one I feel like has a lot more strategies and hacks you can utilize because there's a lot of
Yeah.
different ways to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, how about any hack or strategies you would recommend or you personally do during cutting?
Mm-hmm. Well, as we said before, more protein makes it easier to do, easier to eat.
Yeah,
Even stuff like 0% Greek yogurt, and you could
yeah,
put Mio or some kind of artificial flavoring in it. I'm not a big artificial
sure,
flavoring fan, but
sure.
you do what you gotta do. Uh, yeah, I think that's one pretty good hack is 0% Greek yogurt with some like lemonade Mio in it. It's actually pretty good, and
Yeah,
it doesn't keep you full for long, but it does it keeps you full for the moment, which is
yeah,
nice.
no, for sure. And like, by the way, you can get flavored ones that are still relatively healthy.
Yeah,
They
it's
might
true.
have like
It's true.
10
I'm thinking
calories
too
more per
much from
serving.
bodybuilding stuff. Yeah,
Right, right,
you can get like 0 to 2% that's flavored. That is only like 30 or so calories more per serving. Definitely
it's
just do
right,
that.
right,
Yeah.
right. Or you could get the other one that works fine too. But
Mm-hmm.
I personally noticed that I have to like, okay, I'm gonna put sugar-free maple syrup and I'm gonna put like some
Mm-hmm.
fruit on it to make it more palatable. And now all of a sudden I added 50 extra calories instead of the 20 or 30 that would have had in there
Yeah.
originally. And there's so
Yeah.
many Greek yogurts now, like
Mm-hmm.
truly so many different options. They have like ones that are whipped with more air in them and they're more fluffy, and they have ones with like apple stuff, and it's just a lot of different options.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, protein, spam lean protein,
And
100%.
vegetables. Not too many. Depends on what kind as well. But
Right.
still, you do have to pay more attention to your gut health when you're cutting.
Yeah.
It's a lot more sensitive. Oh, I guess I'm still thinking like bodybuilding stuff. That's when you're really far into the diet, you will have to pay a bit more attention to that. Your gut will be more sensitive to things when you're barely eating anything at all.
Sure, I see what you mean. Like if you haven't had dairy for a while and you reintroduce dairy, all of a
Yeah,
sudden, yeah, you're not gonna
even
just well,
like when I was really far into prep, like bananas started to hurt my stomach, and
really.
yeah, and you want to be
Hmm.
careful with eating too many things like apples or onions, things that stuff that is high on the I don't remember what it's called. It's like the GI chart, but that's not what it's
Yeah,
actually
like
called.
it has high fructose, yeah. And you have to just recognize
FODMAP,
that some
that's what it
food,
is.
yeah, 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 yeah. Um, if you have sensitivities, right? Reality is like if you tolerate apples, you have no issues. Eat apples, you're fine.
Yeah.
Um, I will say if you don't worry about bloating, right, or if you do have relatively good digestion still, vegetables are great,
Mm-hmm.
like so good, and you can just spam
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
Outside of starchy vegetables, which you still
Mm-hmm.
can do lots of, if you are going to choose carbs, things like
Mm-hmm.
potatoes, beans, peas, and corn are going to be more filling because the fiber and water.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, things like cucumbers or tomatoes
Yep.
or sugar snap peas or carrots,
Mm-hmm.
right?
All
peppers.
good.
You could eat so much of them with barely any calories. You still have to track them. They still have calories. They still have
Hmm.
carbs. But boy, you can have a whole big bucket of it and
Yeah.
not get that many calories.
During prep, I was eating like an entire onion every day because I would just like boil water
Yeah,
and
that's
put
smart.
spices in it and then put a whole onion in it, and it was like soup with the
Yeah,
onions.
yeah. I mean, that's smart, right? And
Hmm.
what Eli did is cook it so it's easier to digest.
Yeah, yeah. I
Right? So
was
if you
not
have
eating
digestion
onion
issues,
raw.
just cook.
Yeah,
Well, you could if you like on a
you
burger
could.
or something. But cook the crap out of your vegetables if you have digestion issues until they're soft, and then you're fine.
Yep, yep.
Um, okay, fasting. I would recommend fasting if it works
Hmm.
for you. If
Hmm.
mentally it's not too challenging, if you can sustain it. If you feel like you're starving yourself, don't do it.
Hmm.
But a lot of people are either not very hungry in the morning or evening, one
Hmm.
of those two. Use it to your advantage, right?
Hmm.
Like, hey, I go to bed by 10, I'm not gonna eat after 6.
Yeah,
4 hours, last
yeah,
4 hours a day, you fasted, easy.
yeah.
Or if you're not very hungry in the morning, or maybe you just can get by with a coffee in the morning, don't fast the first 4 hours a day. You wake up at, I don't know, 7, don't eat till 11.
Yeah, yeah. If
Yeah.
you work out later in the day, then just like wait till the last moment to eat, pretty much. Then have your
Yeah.
pre-workout meal and go. When I was in
Yeah.
prep, I would always work out in the mornings, but after I would have my pre-workout, so I had a lot of caffeine, which would suppress my hunger. I would do my workout. I'd do my
Yes.
freaking hour and a half of cardio, and then I would get like half my steps in. So after like 5 hours, I'd be having my second meal of the day, and it's already
Smart.
like 3 p.m. or something. So
Smart.
yeah,
Smart. Yeah. Use those strategies. You mentioned another hack, caffeine being an antidepressant.
yeah.
So much easier, in my opinion, to skip the first meal of the day,
Mm-hmm.
or like do a protein shake
Mm-hmm.
and then caffeine, because caffeine being an antidepressant is great, but it's not a good idea to have caffeine at like 8 p.m.
No,
Right?
I had a lot of
Good.
energy drinks in prep. Never,
I'm
never
sure.
good.
Well,
Never
it
good.
suppresses appetite, and it's
It
as long as you're getting
does.
your
It
sleep, you're okay. But
gosh.
gotta be careful.
Yeah,
Gotta be
it
careful.
was it's bad. It was expensive. I would yeah. It was a
Yeah.
nice reward after my 20,000 billion steps to walk to the convenience store and get an energy drink, and then I would drink one during my morning cardio, and I
Nice.
would drink one during my workout. It was so stupid. I was, but it's fine. It's fine.
Well, you learn from your mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any other hacks or like strategies?
Yes, kind of. Eat, I don't know. Eat high volume foods, but be careful with this. I am personally not a supporter of like the protein ice cream stuff, like the
Oh, really? Okay.
entire giant blender of xanthan gum protein
Oh,
ice
I see what you
cream.
mean.
It's
Yeah.
very bad for your gut. It's not like it's an artificial fullness, and it's just gonna like mess with your stomach. It's just gonna make you uncomfortable and bloated and icky. It's like every once in a while thing. If you're like craving something like that, then yeah, go for it. But just filling your body up with kind of like nothing is just not really great for you. It's
Yeah.
yeah, I don't. I'm not personally a supporter of that. I'd rather just see someone eat a decent amount of vegetables.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'm not as familiar with the xanthan gum effect on gut health, but I will say if you eat a huge volume meal, you don't allow your stomach to adapt to kind of like smaller portions and
Mm,
just less food. So if you keep like stretching your stomach and then it goes back to normal, your hunger levels and the cravings will all over the
mm,
place, right?
yeah.
So I'll say more to that point, like don't eat a huge meal ideally, because it's gonna just mess up with your appetite.
Yeah.
I'm not as familiar with xanthan gum effect on gut health personally.
Yeah. It was
Just I
just
literally just
what
know
it's just what you use to like increase the volume of it.
that. Mhm.
So you're
Yeah, yeah.
just filling your stomach with air, pretty much.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Which, by the way, my next hack would be sugar-free beverages.
Mm, yeah.
In my opinion, I'm not a hater of sugar-free stuff. I think it's maybe anywhere between neutral to slightly bad for you. But while you're cutting, especially in a deep cut, I think it's awesome.
Mhm.
I think it's great. I don't think it's bad at all. If you hate it, get sparkling water, right? It's
Mhm.
just literally gas and water, and then you can
Yep.
not worry about the
Yep.
sweeteners. But it does a couple things. So if I'm hungry at night and I'm already hitting my calories, I can pop a caffeine-free Coke,
Mhm.
feel full, go to bed. There we go.
Mm.
Right. And then I'm not hungry going to bed, even though I didn't have any calories. It's a sweet treat often. It tastes good. It doesn't have any calories. There are potential negatives, right? So like if you really do a lot, there's probably negatives to it.
Yes, there
If you do
is.
like
I
one or two a
personally.
day, you're fine. You're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, okay. First of all, if you have any sensitivities to anything, don't do it,
Yeah.
right? So like you could have sensitivity to fructose, and even though apples and watermelon is not bad for you, for a person with fructose intolerance, it's bad, right? So I'm not a big believer in saying, "Oh, I have sensitivity, so it's bad." Like, no, 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 it's bad for you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I feel fine on it,
Yeah.
right? So in that sense, I think it's fine, but it is still artificial, so it's probably a good idea not to. I'll put it this way: it's not healthy for you.
Yeah.
I will never say that diet beverages are healthy for you. I think in the context of cutting, it's neutral to maybe slightly bad.
Mm. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
what I would say. I think it's a good tool. Do you have to use it? No, but I think it can be very helpful.
Yeah. Just don't go overboard.
Yeah.
You will. It's gross. It gets pretty gross in the bathroom if you have too many sugar alcohols.
Sugar
I
alcohols for
was
sure.
Yeah. So not necessarily always in diet drinks, but like I was having multiple scoops of my EAAs and like pouring half a thing of Mio in my water bottle and having like 3 of those every day. It got really gross. My teeth were getting sticky and hurting, and I was putting syrups in my coffee. Oh my gosh!
Oh
But
man,
that's
that's a lot.
you shouldn't get to that point if you're not in like a bodybuilding prep. That your cut should not be that hard where you need to do that to feel sane. Um, yeah.
And sugar alcohols are a whole entire beast. Like that will mess up your gut, almost
Mm.
regardless of who you are, just because it pulls water into your gut, causes like loose stool. It's a whole different beast. Sugar alcohols, so like sugar-free candy, certain drinks, certain sugar-free products, cookies, right?
Mm.
Yeah, definitely. Protein bars. Protein bars are high in those.
Mm. Yeah.
I think most people can handle about 8 grams of sugar alcohols a day pretty
Mm.
well, and anything beyond that is like can get no bad for your gut.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't do that.
I was having a lot of diet ginger ale as well during prep.
Yeah,
I love that stuff.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's pretty neutral for you.
Yeah. Also, find things that distract you from being hungry. if
Yeah,
you're if you only have like 2 meals left in your day and you eat one and you're still hungry, I don't know, play some online games with your friends
for a walk,
and be busy.
read a
Just
book. Yeah,
yeah, and then eat your last meal before going to bed and you feel better. And then
yeah, yeah, yeah. And a lot of times you'll eat your meal, and it does take like 20 minutes to feel that feeling of fullness,
yeah,
right? So like, eat your meal, maybe go for a walk,
yeah,
go on your phone, do something, paint some minis, make a list for Warhammer Old World,
mm,
and then see if you're hungry, and
yeah,
you probably won't be.
yeah. Oh, also, have you if you're not in like prep, you can do this pretty much the entire way through. Have one cheat meal a day, or sorry, a week, not a
Oh,
day. One cheat meal a week.
yeah.
I think that's a very
Yep.
good thing to do. Have one off meal, whether you're following a meal plan or like just tracking your calories. Have one day where
Yeah.
you have one meal, and if it goes over your calories, that's completely fine. Not an
Not a big deal.
entire day of eating, just one meal, which could be like a date with your significant other or going out with friends. And
Yep.
at the start of your cut, you can even do this twice a week, in my opinion, but
Yeah.
you will have to cut one out eventually. Yeah, you can keep one for the entire time. It gives you something to look forwards to. It makes staying strict on your diet infinitely easier throughout the rest of the week, and it's not going to mess up losing weight really at all.
Yeah.
So
No. All it happens basically you're introducing a maintenance day.
yeah,
Which guess what happens on maintenance? Nothing. Like literally nothing happens. You just eat at maintenance. You haven't gained weight. You haven't lost weight besides maybe some water weight,
mm,
which is gonna go away anyway,
mm,
right? So like, let's say you need 2,000 calories to be in a deficit, and your maintenance is 25. So what happens is Monday for Saturday you ate 2,000, you lost all the weight. Sunday you ate 2,500 calories. 500 calories extra is a big deal, right? But you literally just had a neutral day.
yeah, yeah,
And if you did Saturday and Sunday, you had 2 neutral days. So
yep,
you only were in deficit 5 or 6 days a week. Perfect.
yeah,
Like, why not? Unless you're in a deep cut. Yeah,
yeah.
that's great.
And it's really hard for your body to gain any fat from one meal. So even if it's a,
Oh, no.
I'm not saying you should have a gigantic meal, but if it is a gigantic meal, it's still probably gonna be fine. And the nice thing, when you're deep enough in your cut, you can't have a gigantic meal even if you wanted to, because your stomach is too small. You're gonna eat.
Yep.
You're gonna have 1500. You're gonna have a 1,500 calorie meal, and you're gonna be extremely full, and you won't be able to eat anymore. So,
That's a good point.
and
That's a
your
good point.
body's just gonna poop most of it out anyways. So it's
Yeah.
fine.
So having those cheat meals or cheat days, I recommend not shooting over maintenance on those days because this way is just neutral day basically. You haven't lost any progress technically, and it can be. I mean, that's a really really good advice. So yeah,
And it's.
good one.
I think it's good to have. It's good to have a day before like a tough workout, or the day
Yeah.
of a tough workout. Either way.
Yeah, so like if you usually are, a lot of people just tend to be off on a Sunday, and it usually tends to be the day they're resting and just like recovering, and then
Mm-hmm.
Monday is the start of the new week. That I think Sunday is a really good day for it.
Yeah, and it'll
Or
make your
Saturday.
next workout pretty epic, and you'll have a nice
Oh
pump. So,
yeah, yeah,
especially if you're
absolutely.
deep into the cut.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Uh, Last thing for the strategy, I would say, is just cut down on empty calories.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're tracking, you'll find out what they are.
Mm-hmm.
But it's basically anything that's relatively high calorie for how much satiety it provides,
Yeah.
how filling it is. So a lot of dressings, a lot of condiments like barbecue sauce, regular ketchup, ranch,
Yeah.
olive oil, just any kind of those things you would add on top of salad or a meal. That's easy, 50 to 100 calories, even more, that you're just adding without affecting your satiety and how satisfied you are with the meal at all. So I'd recommend switching to like lighter options, sugar-free options, or just cutting them out.
Mm-hmm. And it's really easy to just switch to sugar-free options or light.
Yeah,
Light
lighter
options are
sugar-free
fine
depending on what it
generally.
is. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
and they taste okay.
Yep.
And the reality is, if they don't taste good, you're gonna eat less of it. So
Yep.
there you go.
Yeah. And in my opinion, you should concentrate the majority of your calories around your workout. So have
That's a good idea. Yep.
before cutting it, like the last meals to get cuts should be your pre-workout and your post-workout meal. They should stay the largest because you're always gonna need the fuel during your workout. And if you work out fasted while you're on a cut, it just sucks. It's
Oh my
gonna be
goodness.
awful.
No, no,
So
thank you.
have try to keep your pre-workout meal the same size throughout the entire thing until you need to cut it down if you are going that far, and keep your post-workout meal kind of the biggest, most satiating one because you're probably going to be hungry after your workout. So, and it
Yeah,
will get recovery going fast. So it's nice.
yeah, I like that a lot.
Yep.
Especially the pre-workout meal, like have those
Mm,
carbs, right?
yep.
You'll use them for the workout, so definitely a good idea.
And I think it's good to have a nice like protein and carb thing before bed, like Greek yogurt and a rice cake.
Sure.
It might help you
Sure.
sleep a
As
little
long as you're
bit.
not eating a
So
huge meal, yeah, like a snack, definitely a good
mm,
idea. I would recommend not eating a huge meal before bed because
yeah,
then it can affect your sleep a little bit.
yeah.
But yeah, like I'm with a protein shake, a protein bar, Greek yogurt, cottage
Mm,
cheese, a couple eggs. Yeah, awesome.
mm,
As far as foods, it's just the opposite of what we said for bulking.
mm,
So with proteins, choose lean proteins. You already mentioned zero fat, the Greek yogurt, egg whites, right? Lean poultry, lean beef, lean any meat like pork. You can get 99% fat-free pork
mm,
if you find it.
yeah.
So like you can do anything you want as long as it's lean. We talked about vegetables, fruits, and then in general, I would recommend eating more whole foods and just less processed foods. Because even the healthy processed foods, like for example, baked chips or even
Mm,
like high protein chips, if you have a big old bag of it, you can eat the whole thing
yeah.
if you're hungry,
Yeah.
right? And then the whole point of it being maybe higher fiber, higher protein, lower calorie, but you ate the whole bag, so you had 800 calories anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So just be careful. Even like a protein cereal. Have you ever had a Magic Spoon?
No, I have not.
It's
I've
great,
seen it a million
delicious.
times, but
It's expensive, but it's delicious, right? If you're hungry, you can eat the whole box,
yeah, yeah.
right? And then the whole point of it being a little bit lower calorie and higher protein goes out the window
Mm,
because you had a whole box because it's so hyper palatable, so easy to eat.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Meh.
um, what advice would you give to somebody who, is struggling with cutting?
Well, I mean, depends on where they're at, I guess. It, it just start slow and be patient. Be patient. If
Yeah.
you want, you can start at 100 or 300 or 500, whatever. Just go slow. Don't rush it because then it'll be way harder. Take out like a lot of time and have a game plan, have a goal weight to get to, or a goal like look weight's easier
Yeah.
to kind of see all the time. weigh yourself like twice a week. Don't need to do it every single day until you're getting really low into it. Slow and steady is always the best with literally everything.
Yep.
Just stay slow. If you find you haven't lost weight for a week or even two, decrease your calories by 100, increase your cardio by 5 minutes, and then rinse and repeat for a long time.
Yep. I will say one thing, and this is the last resort and doesn't work for a lot of people, but I will say this, and it's going to be controversial. But and I would mostly recommend if you're working with a coach or a trainer and let them talk to you about it. But there are some people for whom GLP-1 inhibitors may be helpful, right? GLP-1 inhibitors are the Ozempic, semaglutides, basically, right? Wegovy, which for some people they really may start their cutting process because it just helps control the craving and appetite, right? It is not for a lot of people. A lot of people use it incorrectly. But you know, science is real and studies are real and effects are legitimate. That if you use it appropriately, it can be an awesome tool, right? I have a number of clients who are on them and they're seeing really good results. If used correctly, right? It can 100%, like any kind of like dieting or a tool like that, be abused. It's like fasting, right? Fasting doesn't do anything for you, but it can be an awesome tool for cutting. So same thing, GLP-1s, you could lose weight, gain weight, lose muscle mass, right? There's so many negatives with it. But I would say that some people could really benefit from it. And their reasoning for not going on it is just them being stubborn and saying, I don't want medication, right? It's not for everybody. It's not for most people, but there are people who would benefit from it. And that's the reason I'm mentioning it last, is just consider it. But it's not a cheat code. It's not a hack. But for some people, it could be very helpful. Not for most. Not for me. Not for Eli. Not for the majority of people we talk to. But there are contexts in which it can be helpful, either for a season or for a longer season, not for life, right? But it can help some people level the playing field a little bit. Because reality is people have different cravings, different appetites. And at some point, just white knuckling it, there are other things you can utilize, right? You probably don't need it, and you can just do everything we said, but it helps level the playing field for some people, because some people just have higher cravings. It's just reality, right? Some people just have higher appetite markers, right, than other people. There's a reason why some people are just naturally skinny their whole life, right? Because they just don't have very strong appetite hormones, right? And you could say, well, just they could say just eat less, somebody else. Well, the reality is those people have much stronger cravings, and we live in a society where we have a lot of higher palatable food, right? So not for everybody, not for most people, but if you've been like obese all your life and you're really struggling and you've tried all those things, you just can't stick to them. You work with trainers, work with coaches, and you just really struggle, still work with somebody, but this can't even the playing field for some of those people. But hear me say this is not for most people.
Yeah. I think the target audience would be, I assume, morbidly obese people who are,
and somebody who
whose
tried.
whose life is at stake.
Life is at stake and who tried, right?
you're-
GLP-1 should not be the first thing you try.
If you're 50 pounds overweight and you're having a hard time
No.
losing weight, this is not.
No.
This is
No,
it is
no,
not
no.
good for you. It is bad for you, and is not to be used lightly.
Yes. It's
And
not to
it's
be used
very
lightly.
hard to get off of for a lot of people, from what I've.
It can be.
If you have
I don't
bad
want to demonize
guidance,
it more. Right. I
I
don't
don't
want to demonize it more than it is, because the reality is most people who demonize it don't actually look at the studies. They just hear like anecdotes, which are not, which are fine, but not legitimate, in a sense of like applying this to everybody. But yeah, if you're 50 pounds overweight, you're fine. You're not a target audience. But if here's a perfect person for it. You are obese. You've been obese most of your life, right? You have very strong appetites, strong cravings. You've tried dieting. You've tried working out. You've tried cutting. Truly applied it, right? And you just cannot stick to it. You maybe lose weight, gain weight. You just very, very hard, right? You've tried everything, you've done it for a long time, for a few years. You've tried many things, it doesn't work for you. Consider it. Don't just do it. Consider it. Talk to a trainer, talk to a coach. The benefits would significantly outweigh the negatives for that person.
Yeah.
If you are maybe you used to be active in college, you used to be an athlete, but now you have a sedentary job, you gain some fat, maybe 20, 30 pounds, maybe even 50, 60 pounds, you're a family man now, but you used to be healthy and fit, it's not for you, right? You can get back to that because that's not been your whole life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So I don't want to say it, a little bit controversial, helpful for some people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
That's
used
my
in
rant.
it's used in the medical field. It should stay for
Yeah.
people with medical conditions, not for someone who's overweight and wants to
Yes.
look good.
Yes. Yeah. If you consider obesity a condition, yes, absolutely. And then diabetes, right? I mean, this was designed for people with diabetes. And then if you have obesity and diabetes, double whammy, this could be really helpful.
Doctors hand this stuff out like candy though where I live, so
It's too much. Yeah, I really dislike big picture, it's probably done more harm than good because it's misused, not because it's bad, right? It's just not, it just shouldn't be applied to most people who are struggling to lose weight. It should be applied to very few individuals who would see the most results under guidance of a coach, trainer, a medical professional, because it has to be utilized correctly. But I will say, as the final resort for those people, it is the best option we have.
better than dying.
It is.
So
It's better than dying. It's better than weight loss surgery.
yeah.
Much better. I used to work in a bariatric office, which is a weight loss surgery office. Not good. The
Really?
complications you see, oh my god. I mean, people would have like absorption issues, gut health issues. They would struggle to, and then they'll often gain weight back, and some people lost too much weight. Like,
Wow.
if you compared to the other options we have for those people, this is really a good option. But if you're listening to this and you're a little bit overweight, it's not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to, I'm not recommending this. You could always look into ephedrine and caffeine if you really wanted to. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. But it is something.
Yeah.
It's more for something if you're really deep into a cut and you hate it and you're having a hard
Yeah.
time. You can
You
look
can do
into
anything seasonally and be okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
And then there's
recommend it, but you
peptides
can
they
look into
have.
it.
Yeah, there's peptides they have for appetite suppression, and like I don't know much about it. So there's a lot of different tools you could use, and a lot of those things, as long as you do it for a season and then you have a plan, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
Awesome,
nice.
dude. How long would you recommend the cutting for?
Really just depends on how much weight you gotta lose, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go, like we said before, for most cases, I wouldn't want to go below a 1,000 calorie deficit. So
Right.
if you've gotten to that point where you're in a deficit of 1,000 and you are doing like an hour of cardio every day and you're not losing weight, it might be time to reverse it back. And
Else.
in my opinion, you should always try to reverse diet. It's very hard. It's very, very hard, but you should try. Don't go right back to your
slowly.
maintenance calories. You will gain fat that way, and it will take like a few weeks for your body to adapt, and you'll gain plenty of fat in that time. But if you take it slow and have some self-control, it's very hard. I wasn't able to do it after prep. That's different than a regular diet, though, to be completely fair.
Right.
But if you're in a 1,000 calorie deficit, you're doing an hour of cardio a day. First week, go do 45 minutes of cardio, bring your deficit down to 700. That's a pretty drastic difference, just right there.
Yeah.
Then do that for a week or two, then bring it down to 530 minutes of cardio, and just do that. It only takes like a month, maybe 6 weeks.
Yep.
But it'll drastically increase your progress and the amount of fat that you don't gain, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
This is especially good advice if you're in a deeper cut.
Yeah.
Like if you put yourself to 1,000 calories, if you did a shortcut and you never went beyond 600 calories.
If you cut for 8 weeks, then it doesn't really matter. But
Right. But if you did like a cut, very long time. For most people, I don't recommend doing a cut for longer than 2-3 months. You can. I mean, I've have clients who are very like obese and they've literally been cutting the whole time I work with them just because they have a lot of weight to lose. But for a lot of people who do cycle bulking and cutting, 2-3 months, just because you can lose all the negatives of the bulk that you gained, and maybe a little bit more even, because you can go much more severe, right? Because reality, let's say you bulked for 3 months, you were in let's say even 6 months, you were in a consistent 250, 300 calorie surplus. as far as weight, you didn't gain that much,
Mm.
right? After the water weight, especially. So you really don't have that much fat to lose. So like 3 month cut is plenty.
Mhm.
But if you're like getting ready for a stage, obviously a different idea.
Yeah.
And once again, I wouldn't do lower than a month for most people, just because you're not going to see as much results.
Yeah.
It might work. A month cut is going to be more beneficial than a month bulk, I would say.
Yeah, it would be.
But it but it is still better for pushing 2-3 months.
Hmm.
All right. Any final remarks here, Eli?
I'm pleased.
I'm pleased as well. We did a pretty deep dive. I like it.
That was pretty good.
If you're ready to start your health and fitness journey, go to grimdarkgains.com for an 8-week Nerds complete guide to nutrition and fitness. You can find Eli at Deadlifts for the Dark Gods and myself at fit_hammer on Instagram and YouTube. You can find a link to Grimdark Gains Discord on our Instagram at GrimdarkGains or our personal Instagram accounts. Thank you, and until next time, stay Warhammer strong.
Very well. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.